never.
As we do a embargo for Sunday today, 10:30 embargo. And any questions in Spanish just before embargo? Thank you.
Good afternoon, Pep. We're told the club is close to completing a deal for Aymeric Laporte. Can you update us on where that may be?
No, I can't. Sorry.
You almost signed him.
He's player for Athletic Bilbao, like other players in the club. So I didn't speak for the previous players to talk about that here. So I will know that. So you will know it. If happen. If don't happen.
Can you confirm for us though that talks are ongoing? He's a player you'd like to sign?
Players?
Laporte, can you confirm he's a player that you would like to sign?
There are. It was players in the past who were interesting in the present. It will be in the future. So always we try to do the best for the club, knowing the players that we have and knowing the players that can improve our squad.
And at the risk of getting the same answer, talks with Fred and Shakhtar Donetsk, is that a transfer that you are confident of completing?
No, I know you understand about that. You are curious about that because all this month is talking about that in the media and every day about the transfers and so on. So 18 months together. So here is not the place to talk about that from my point of sight because it's terms of the club, terms of the both clubs. I don't want to talk about the players. They are playing right now in other clubs and you know, to make the deals is so difficult today in terms of lawyers, in terms of managers, players managers, and the clubs, the money. So that's why it's not the right place to talk about names, about what is going on inside of the clubs. I'm sorry.
That's absolutely fine. Not talking about names then specifically, the transfer window closes in now less than a week. As we sit here today, are you confident that you will have another player, another two players in your squad by the time the window closes?
I said in the past. So we're trying to do the best for the squad for now, for the next 6 months, for the next years. If we can do something it's interesting, we're going to do that. If not, we're going to make in the summer. It's not possible now in the summer. We're going to travel with the guys. They have done amazingly so far. So no problem at all.
Pep, some of your players in your squad now have played around 30 matches. They could still have nearly 30 more to play in this season. How concerned are you about that, considering the fact you're doing so well in all the different competitions?
Yeah, there are a lot of games. We play a lot, and we have to play still a lot. So try to, to make them fit, and there are a lot. That is what it is. So I prefer to be in the position that we have. That, for example, last season when we were not in the 4 competitions, we're going to see until we arrive. Tomorrow is day after tomorrow is another final, and like it was 3 days ago, because now is the period when every game is so important in every competition. We've been Champions League in the Premier League as well. So game by game, and we will see how is our level.
I know you've talked about this subject before, but your predecessor Manuel Pellegrini had a point in one season where he more or less had to write off the FA Cup because of the way the fixtures were. Are you concerned that you might get to a point where the FA Cup may need to take a back seat because of all the other competitions?
Well, in that situation it was completely different than now. So because the club tried to speak with the federation to anticipate the fixture, to have one more day to go to Russia to play the Champions League. It was so important. I understand completely what the club has done, but here, the televisions decide, not the clubs, not the federation, decide the fixtures, and we're going to adjust of that. So we are going to play. We're going to play the final 25 December, I think so, against Arsenal, and after Thursday against Arsenal, and after Sunday against Chelsea, and Wednesday in Champions League. So we would prefer to give more time, but it's what it is when you are in 4 competitions, and the televisions decide for their interesting, not for interesting for all the clubs playing in that position. You have to adapt. You have to say things. That is going. When I said many times That is going to change. No, that is not going to change. About the fixtures, about the competitions, about the rules, about. So just you ask me my opinion, I give my opinion, but nothing is going to change. And what we can then is adapt. So no complaining about that, because sometimes you have one more day, sometimes less days. You know, it's what it is, because decide the televisions, and you have to adapt.
Pep, regardless of what happens in the transfer window between now and Wednesday, you have made sure that Kevin De Bruyne has signed a new contract. Other players have signed new contracts recently as well. How important has that been to make that move with the players that are already here?
A lot. That is the real news, not about the transfer. So Nico and Fernandinho, David and Kevin will stay longer. Important player for us. Some of them with more than 30 years old. Kevin younger, but it's so important. All of them deserve to extend their contract, because to extend the contract also they have to deserve that. It's like a manager, the same case. So we're so happy that they can stay longer here with us for Manchester City.
With players like that committing their futures, does it make you think that your future here is so much longer as well?
I'm so happy here, was last season, and of course it's so important for the club. At the end they are the artists, the important is the players, and important is they stay here longer. That is so good. The best news of the weeks.
Pep, how near are you getting to the squad and the team that you wanted when you first came here? You're 12 points clear in the Premier League, you're in the final of one competition, you're doing well in the others, you've got players signed to extended contracts. How near are you to having almost the perfect squad?
I think it's never near, because the situation that season, when for example players don't play regularly, they accept that position. Maybe the next season they are not going to accept that position. They want to leave, and the players they play at top level that season. Maybe next season they're going to play in that way, and they are not going to play regularly like that season, and maybe don't accept to be not playing regularly like that season. You are probably in the squad, so that is not a never end. It's not a it's always try to solve the situations year by year. So because the players always deserve more than maybe they play regularly, and they want to change the position, and you have to look for. So it's not, oh no, now we are going to do that. It's going to work for the next 3 years. That is a big mistake. That is not going to happen, because football, when you are a good team, you are champion, and in a few months you are in the bottom. You say, why? We are the same. We are doing the same with the same players, the same ideas, and it's not going well. So that's why it's very big calm, focus in Cardiff. I don't know what's going to happen in summer or now in winter or next season.
Pep, Kyle Walker took a nasty blow towards the end of the game at Bristol City. How is he?
It's good.
Fine, no problems this weekend.
He breathed, yeah.
Okay. Is everybody else okay? Any other injury concerns at all?
No, everybody's okay.
Stand up front.
What do you know of Cardiff and Neil Warnock? He's got quite a reputation for his style of football. Can you give us your take? You've obviously watched some tapes of Cardiff. What do you make of them?
I travel to Mansfield to watch the game. I'm professional. So good. So I saw Mansfield Cardiff, and I realized immediately the way they play. A lot of respect what they do. They do it quite well. So I spoke with my colleagues, with my staff, and they know my colleague Neil more than we didn't met each other before. Tomorrow will be the first time, but what they do it well. So they are, I think, second or third in the championship, and playing away. So we'll be tough. We know exactly. Today we spoke about them, and they know exactly how complicated will be the game.
Because Wolves and Bristol City have probably given you two of your hardest tests this season, haven't they, over the 3 games?
Yeah, because they don't have the pressure, when they play in this kind of games, it's perfect, it's a party. Not party in the terms, it's a good opportunity. So the other teams, they have to go to the Premier League, and they feel the pressure. When normally the Championship teams play with the Premier League teams, okay, suppose that is going to happen, but that is a good signal. What happened in Volt for penalties, Bristol, you know how complicated it was. Last season against Huddersfield, we need to replay. In the game replay to play again, so it will be so tough. We know that. So we play away, a team who is in top form, making a good results, playing the way they play is so good. The second balls, tall team, set pieces, so aggressive in a 1-against-1. If you don't play quick with the ball, we'll be in trouble. We have to avoid the contact as much as possible, defend high, because if we defend in the box, they are so strong, and use your quality to try to do our game.
Pep, I wonder if you just speak a little bit about the importance of David Silva, because the last 24 games he's played for you, you've won them all.
The last 2 games, yeah, he played.
Oh, sorry, last 24.
Yeah, that's why he play every time. Yeah, it's a good record. Normally, with David we are a good team, so he's a special guy, my opinion about him. But when he's able, he's able to play, he plays. When it's not possible, because with his son, so we wait him. Important is his son in that moment, and his wife, and his family. That is the most important.
Is he the one who makes your team tick? Is he the player who makes Manchester City tick? Makes them function?
Well, David is so important, but we try to make them, all of them, feel, all the players, they are so important. So David is so intelligent, but he knows alone he cannot do that. We try to make a good team spirit, and everybody be involved with and without the ball, what we have to do. But we cannot deny, so he's 8-9 years here, David, or 7 years, 8 years here, so a lot of games, experience, and of course with huge personality to play, especially in the bad moments. So always I say the same. The big difference, the good players and top players, is in the difficult games, in the moments, they make a step forward, and David is one of them.
Hola, Pep, bon dia. Al principi de temporada va utilitzar alguns partits un sistema amb 3 centrals. Últimament no l'he fet servir tant, tot ha anat molt bé, però també suposo que no tenies prou centrals sants per fer-lo servir. M'agradaria saber si has tingut l'impuls d'algun partit, volies fer servir aquest i no has pogut perquè no tenies prou, i si cal fitxar un central et torna aquesta alternativa per poder tornar-ho a utilitzar.
Sí, és una alternativa que tenim, que potser l'utilitzarem en certs moments, però per ara em sento còmode pel perfil de jugadors que tenim, doncs jugar amb 4. Però és una opció que tenim, però que no tant depèn si firmem un central o no és perquè hem de jugar amb 3, sinó esporàdicament potser l'utilitzarem, però per ara no ho tinc present en el futur.
At the beginning of the season, you used the formation with 3 in the back. We saw it, but we haven't seen it much recently. Is it something you have thought about using again during the season, or is it something that you would think about using if, for example, another central defender comes in? Well, yeah, it's another alternative we have as a team. We might use it again along the season, but so far I feel comfortable with playing 4 in the back, but obviously it's another option we have. It doesn't depend much if we sign or not another central defender, but again, as I said, we might use it again, and we might see it in the future again.
Okay, guys, for an embargo, please, for 10:30 on Saturday evening. Matt, just here, please.